Well, hello everyone and welcome to Fitchburg Access Television. And today something a little different. We're fundraising for the Fitchburg High School Band. And normally the Rotary Club of Fitchburg will have breakfast for the bands, which is a culmination of Leominster High School and Fitchburg High School bands and the Rotary Club of Fitchburg. Of course, because of the most recent events and health concerns for everybody and keeping people safe, we've decided to have a little bit of a televised effort here, and we're going to call it a bandathon. Certainly, hopefully, nothing we have to repeat maybe in the future. With me today is President of Rotary Club of Fitchburg, Paul Garvin, our Executive Secretary and all things Rotary, Karen Fusco, and of course, past Mayor of the City of Fitchburg and Foundation Chair Mary Whitney. I'm Glenn Foster, and welcome to this special edition of a bandathon to support the Fitchburg High School Band. Paul Garvin, breakfast for the bands,
Yes.
forever and ever, but there's a history to that in Rotary Club of Fitchburg. Tell us more.
Okay, well, going back, 25 years now. We started in 1995. We held our first event. We had decided, because Leominster was having challenges as well as Fitchburg with our band programs, mainly because of Proposition 2.5 that cut out some of the funding. And with that, the bands were really suffering. So we decided to get together with the two Rotary clubs and come up with an event to try to raise money for the two bands. Our first year we held it in Fitchburg at the Rheingold Middle School. It was an interesting event, to say the least. Actually, it was Memorial Middle School, not Rheingold, it was Memorial. And it was a rainy, sleety morning. It wasn't very nice, but we had a great event. We got the ball rolling, so to speak, and everybody was enthused about doing it the following year. And we decided to alternate the cities, because again, both Fitchburg and Leominster were involved. So the following year we went to Leominster, and that was a really nice Sunday morning, and we had a huge crowd. We served close to 1,000 people that day, and that made us realize that we couldn't really do it in any of the Fitchburg facilities until the new Fitchburg High School came online in the year 2000. So that's what we waited for, and it was 4 years later, and we had our first breakfast at the new high school, which ended up being our biggest breakfast anywhere. All years we've had, that year over about 12 to 1,300 people we served for breakfast. It was great. The challenge, of course, Fitchburg cafeteria is not quite as big as Leominster, so we had a very crowded event, but it was a lot of fun, a lot of great energy, and it really went well. And we've been going back and forth every year since then, and until recently, actually, Leominster did a renovation, and we had to do a couple of years at Fitchburg because of Leominster's renovation to their high school. So we've been flexible, so to speak, as we need to be, but it's really become a great event. And this past year, in 2020, would have been our 25th anniversary, and unfortunately, we're not able to hold it, but we will have our 25th anniversary this coming November.
Well, it's exciting, Paul, and as Rotarians, we've already started the process and collected well over $100 today in donations for the Fitchburg High School Band.
That's great, and I did a little tally before we got here today, and in those 24 years that we've already accomplished, we've given over $100,000 to both bands, over 100 to Fitchburg and 100 to Leominster. So it's been very, very important to them. I'm sure Tabitha can tell you a little bit more about that when she gets here, but the money has been really an important aspect of what the bands do.
Well, we're excited about it, and we're about to hear from one of our band members right now.
Hello, my name is Ming Mo. I'm a freshman at Fitchburg High School, going to sophomore year. I'm also part of the Fitchburg High School marching band. First off, I want to say thank you for all the support you've been giving us over the years. Being able to go to these marching competitions and fundraising for international or national band meetups and events. Just one thing I love to say about our marching band. I love seeing all my bandmates come together and work together as a team so we can win that gold medal.
And it is great to be back. So good to hear from the very members of the band. Yes. And with me, of course, Karen Fusco. You're a mainstay and a name synonymous with Rotary Club of Fitchburg. It is great to have you with us today. Tell us a little bit about your take on Breakfast for the Bands and, of course, supporting Fitchburg High School Band.
Well, our Rotary Club of Fitchburg is, our motto is service above self. And that's what we do. We pour our efforts into helping raise funds for the bands. I mean, the athletics get a lot of support, but Rotary noticed that maybe the music department could use a little of support as well. So as Rotarians, we go out, we oversee a silent auction. We solicit baskets from other Rotarians, and mostly everybody brings a basket or asks someone to donate, and we all work. We all work and do a lot of running around, and we do we serve the meals, and basically that's what we do. Service above self.
Everybody loves to get together, of course, and having breakfast is one of those things that we do as just regular Americans doing things together. And the fellowship is good, and it brings excitement and kind of informs people about the band more.
Definitely, definitely. And of course, we like to inform the community of our presence as well, and I think we do a pretty good job of it.
And we learn something every day. The executive director of Fitchburg Access Television, currently Nate Glennie, was actually a band member. So
yes.
We want to thank him very much for supporting this particular special TV show. And in just a few seconds, we're going to hear from another band member. But with us, of course, is former mayor of the city of Fitchburg, Mary Whitney. Mary, you have been Foundation Chair, and now, of course, talking about Breakfast for the Bands. Tell us a little bit about your take.
Well, my take is I think it's wonderful, but I've got to add one thing that both Karen and Paul didn't mention. All the food is homemade. It's all made by the members of Rotary, and they do an excellent job. There's plenty of food, and I agree with you, Paul. The year we had Fitchburg High open, that we had a tremendous amount of people up there. But what I would like to emphasize too is that when we have the breakfast, each band has an opportunity and they take turns. They come in and they play for 5 minutes and then they leave and the next band comes in. And it's an opportunity for people who actually come to the breakfast because it's a social event. It's become an event that everybody in the city knows they have to go to, whether they're involved in the school system or whether they're involved in anything going on in the city, but they have to go to this event because it's mainly an event, but it's something that people get an opportunity to see the youngsters play the band. And it's not just the football team, although we're very proud of the football team, but it's to see the band march out on halftime. Everybody is interested in what they're doing and what they're saying and playing, which is very important. As a former mayor, I would say that is one of the things, the band, we depend very heavily on every event that we have involving the city. We ask the band leader to please come and enjoy the music and enjoy the events we have. Now, particularly we just had Memorial Day. They've always played at Memorial Day, either marching or in the Civic Center, depending on the weather. And it's a band that we're very proud of, and even we're proud of Leominster's band too, because we've been working together for over 25 years, and that makes a big difference. And when you come to cutting budgets, of course the first thing you think of is cutting out things that they feel is not necessary, but it really is necessary because there's a lot of youngsters that really don't socialize as much with other kids, but they get involved in the bands. And Fitchburg, well, Leominster does too. They furnish the instruments and they furnish the training, and they help these youngsters to come along. And I think it's a very wonderful educational system for the youngsters. And we're very proud of Tabitha. She has done wonders because the band has gone from 50 youngsters to 100 youngsters, down to 25 youngsters, and now we're back up to pretty close to another 100, which is 5 years ago we had 20, if we had that.
Yeah.
But
band's so important, giving, of course, alternatives to just other activities at the high school, and it is just one of those things that we really want to continue as strong as it is. We're going to hear from Jackie Bruyette now, a member of the Fitchburg High School Band.
Hi, my name is Jackie Bruyette, and I'm a junior in the Fitchburg High Band. I just want to thank you so much for your support and tell you what the band means to me. Band is a place where I can go to just let my mind wander and hang out with my friends and be able to perform with each other and just have fun. And again, I just want to thank you for making this possible for us.
Well, it's always great to hear from the very people that play, of course, in the Fitchburg High School Band, and we're pleased to now introduce Tabitha Greenlees, director of the Fitchburg High School Band. Tabitha, we haven't been able to do our regular breakfast for the band, so we're doing a bandathon.
Yes.
And it's so exciting. Thank you for providing so much of the back information and the kids who recorded to talk to our group today. So tell us a little bit more about how things are going with the band.
Yeah, you know, this has been a year unlike any other, for sure. It's been a real adventure. You know, we've had a lot of time to spend doing things that maybe we wouldn't normally do because most of our performance opportunities have not been able to happen because of the pandemic, with, you know, all the regulations regarding sizes of people present and, you know, our own regulations that we need to follow. So yeah, we spent a lot of time doing really cool compositions for the kids. They've been able to collaborate on small group projects instead of working collaboratively as a whole ensemble. And we've even done some collaborative recordings, you know, so each kid kind of like what you might call a virtual ensemble. We have done those sorts of things throughout the course of the year. So it's been really an interesting kind of shift to what is important for us to learn and keep the kids engaged and want them to continue to be playing their instrument, but find alternatives that are you know, not band when you can't do band. You know, there's no replica of playing live music with other human beings. You cannot replicate that in another situation. And so I came in with the intention of not trying to replicate what we couldn't do. You know, you can't have two people on a Google Meet or a Zoom. You know, you can't even speak to each other without overlapping. So talk about trying to have a synchronous performance is impossible. So we've done a lot of really neat alternatives this year, and I think that they've been really successful. The kids have found them really engaging and challenging. You know, we've had to learn a whole bunch of things that they've never had to do before. So learning how to use a digital audio workstation and being able to integrate looping softwares and integrating you know, MIDI instruments as opposed to, like, in addition to their actual acoustic instrument. And I've had a lot of kids who were interested in learning another instrument in addition to their band, and so this year they've been able to like play a band of one kind of all by themselves. So they do like a bunch of multi-tracking, which has been really, really cool to see them be able to explore these different avenues of music making. So yeah.
Wow, all I can say is wow to that. That's amazing. And Tabitha, you've done such a great job. We were just speaking before you came on studio of the resurrection of the band, so to speak, in terms of its popularity and the kids being interested. And I do want a disclaimer, when we say kids, we know they're young men and women at this stage of the game, and so impressed with their progress that they make. We're going to hear from the band right now. And we're back, and of course it's always so great to hear the very folks that we're talking about, and that's the Fitchburg High School Band. Paul, so much more to this, and talking about sort of the band-a-thon and directing folks to give and to kind of make up where we've left off.
Right, well, that's the biggest challenge, and historically, you know, we've done our breakfast by recruiting placemat advertisers and larger corporate advertisers. This scenario, we're not really doing that, but we're hoping that some of the people who have generously helped our event in the past will consider doing what they would have done this past November if we had been asking them for a donation. So if you're so inclined to make the donation as you've done in the past, you can send it to the Fitchburg High School. I imagine to Rick Costangian, that where it should be it should be mailed to, or
you can send it. You can make checks payable to the Fitchburg High School Band Parents Association and mail them directly to FHS, and they'll be collected.
And you'll get them to the
straight
band
to the high
parents.
school. Yep.
Great, because that's really been the big way that we've raised money. The placemat advertising, I think we usually charge $50 for an ad, and with that they get a line in our placemat, and it's on every place setting that people sit at. But that's really where the majority of the money comes from. And actually, one of our big benefits of this event is that the food, when we do our event, is usually donated by the respective food service company who services the high school, whether it be Fitchburg High School or Leominster. And the company that does Fitchburg, Tabitha, do you know the name of that?
Sodexo.
Sodexo.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and they've been fantastic.
Yes,
You know,
they provide us all the food that morning, the pancakes, the sausage, the bacon. We do get bacon, though. We always run out. So we've gotten bacon from other surrounding restaurants, because that's always a problem. One year, we ran out of bacon, and we'll never let that happen again. So that's great. And then Leominster High School Bands Group, they usually prepare all the coffee for us, because they have a gentleman in their club that has a coffee company over by the Lowe's store over there in Leominster. I forget the name of it. I should know, but anyways, they do a great job for the coffee. And the rest of it is all prepared by the Rotarians, and the band parents come and help us as well. And we talked about the two bands playing that Mary mentioned, but that's also a very important part of the event. And maybe you can tell us a little bit more of how the bands arrange that in the morning?
Oh yeah, well typically we would have alternating performances, right, throughout the morning. So first off, we always start with a combined ensemble, so with both the Leominster and Fitchburg bands playing together. We usually do patriotic selections early in the morning, and then kind of every half an hour or so we alternate sets. So like it kind of depends on when you come, if you come on the hour or on the half, who you're going to hear. But I know that at least for us, we definitely advertise like when we're playing, so that we have all the red people in our auditorium for us, and all the blue people for the others.
That's right.
Because even though it's surrounding the rivalry of Thanksgiving, this historic rivalry, the bands always behave in a very collegial way, because this is a incredible opportunity to be able to play together and to kind of show off both of our programs, and to support our schools and what each one of us does throughout the school year. So it's always a huge community event, both for our school community and the community at large. We really appreciate all of that support that we receive from the Rotarians and from our community. It helps to fund a significant portion of what we do in a normal school year, being able to pay for our busing and transportation to and from band competitions and band performances, being able to help students to travel and defray costs going to Disney, which will be going in December of this year, after having postponed it 3 times this last year. In fact, when we postponed from June of 2020 to June of 2021, we said, well, if we postpone it a year, there's no way we're not going in June. So I'm really glad that we were able to postpone yet again, and we'll have this opportunity to travel this December instead, because it's looking significantly better for us to be able to do so. And having those funds make it possible for us to offer scholarships to kids whose families might not be able to afford the full cost of being able to travel to Walt Disney World, because it is expensive for the kids. And we just this year last year received a grant in part from the Wallace Foundation here in town to pay for brand new uniforms. But we are also kind of supplementing that with our band parent monies that we've raised over the years to make sure that we have our full uniforms, which nobody has seen yet, but you will. So that's a really exciting thing. They've just been hanging in the closet. I've seen them, and it's been fabulous. They're fabulous.
Something new and exciting to unveil from the Fitchburg High School Band. And of course, you can make a check to Fitchburg High School Band Parent Association. That's the big part, and every little bit helps. We're going to hear from our senior band member right now, Jocelyn Diaz.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn Diaz. I'm a senior in the Fitchburg High Band. Thank you so much for your support for our fundraiser.
Mary, you had some questions about sort of things that we don't always think about in terms of band, and that's the academic value.
I would like to ask Tapita. She mentioned the fact that she is teaching them the instruments and the readings of the score thing. Could you explain that a little bit more? Because that seems to me completely different than what you ordinarily would teach if you had a full band. Now are you talking individually, or are you talking the whole group?
Well, we still meet as a full class, but the technologies that have been kind of made available this year to us have made it possible for the kids to do more small group collaborative work, which is really exciting. But in terms of like teaching notation and teaching students how to read and write with accuracy, musically we kind of look for the same level of literacy, you know. Notation is there as shorthand. You know, there are many types of music which are taught in an oral tradition. So you would like sing something to yourself, and then you would repeat it back. And through that repetition, you learn the song. Isn't that great? You know?
I think that's wonderful. Well, that's a whole new level that you're teaching.
Yeah, it's
these
been a
youngsters,
real,
isn't
like
it?
I said, you
Really?
know, we had to be really innovative, and I chose to make that decision this year, as opposed to kind of focusing on trying to create lots of different, you know, virtual ensemble rehearsals, you know, or spaces where we could do that. It's been a really interesting thing, you know, kind of the distancing that we've been required for us has been 10 feet and outdoors with masks. So it's been very, very different, you know.
10 feet?
10 feet, yeah. Which makes it hard because, you know, where are you going to find a space to separate, you know, a group of band kids at 10 feet apart from each other? So, yeah.
No lack of challenges for
Right.
Tabitha Greenleaf. And of course, we're talking about raising funds for the Fitchburg High School Band, Fitchburg High School Parent Band Association. You can write a check and send it off to Fitchburg High School's location, and they will apply that to the funding of the band. We're going to hear from Maya Stevenson-Zakelli right now.
Hey guys, my name is Maya Stevenson-Zakelli. I'm a part of the FHS band as a trumpet player, and I wanted to thank you so very much for all the support that you've given us. It really means a lot, especially with what's going on, you know, with this whole virus, but we're hoping that sometime in the near future things will start to get better. So once again, thank you. We really appreciate it.
It is so great to hear from the very folks that we're trying to help today, the Fitchburg High School Band and the kids. Tabitha, thank you so much for coming along and giving us so much detail. You learn something new every day. I know Mary just celebrated her 39th birthday last week. And,
Really?
we
We're almost the same age.
It's just, you know, we can learn something new every day. So we want to thank you very much. There is a PayPal as well. We're going to direct you to that in a crawl on the bottom of the screen. And there'll always be the ability to rerun this program, to share and to look at some of the things that we have featured today as we kind of wrap up our Bandathon, kind of taking place of Rotary Club of Fitchburg's Breakfast for the Bands, which didn't run last year, and hopefully in the future. And of course, Paul, Breakfast for the Bands right here, we're kind of doing the Bandathon thing. Maybe some promising news on Breakfast for the Bands coming ahead.
Yes, we've been able to look ahead of the calendar, and we think the COVID baloney is going to be done for good by the time we get to November next year. So November 21st, the Sunday before Thanksgiving, will be our 25th anniversary Breakfast for the Bands. So put it on your calendar, save the date. We'll see you at our breakfast.
We're going to hear from Chauncey Michael and Jackie Mora Issa right now, and we'll be back with a little bit more when we wrap up this Bandathon.
Hi, my name is Jackie Mora Issa.
And I'm Chauncey Michael.
And we're both juniors at the Fitchburg High School Marching Band. One reason I like band is because I'm able to express myself musically.
And one reason that I like band is that I like traveling around the state and seeing all the other bands around the state perform their own music.
Thank you for your support.
Well, thank you for joining us for the Rotary Club of Fitchburg's presentation on the Bandathon. Fitchburg High School Band, supporting them, the Fitchburg High School Parents Band Association. You can write a check, send it off to Fitchburg High School. We also have a PayPal address. We're going to crawl at the bottom of the screen. Paul, we got PayPal coming up, a great way to participate in giving to the band.
Yes, many young people today don't have checkbooks anymore, and everything is done by their cell phones and their computers. Frankly, I don't have any of those things, but that's how I've been told it works. But so for the young ones out there that have that ability to send a PayPal donation, please do. It's all about helping the bands, and any donation will help.
On behalf of the Rotary Club of Fitchburg, President Paul Garvin, of course our foundation chair, Mary Whitney, and nonetheless the band director of Fitchburg High School, Tabitha Greenleaf, I'm Glenn Fossa. Thank you for watching.
1, 2, 3.
Hey, you! Thank you for your support.